Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden coming to you from the 1,000 Steps on the Appalachian Trail in Woodford, Vermont. And this is my most feared playground. This section of the Appalachian Trail climbs 700 feet in 4/10 of a mile up a series of stones that kind of resemble stairs, and it's super steep. A lot of the rises and falls on the way down now are maybe a foot or more, so not like climbing stairs in a building. Anyway, this is a workout that I avoid because it's so challenging. Even when you're hiking, this is incredibly challenging. So I came out here today because as I heal my Achilles tendon and the bone spurs in the heel bone going up into the tendon, I've noticed that my brain wants to avoid any kind of hiking, walking, running, and instead I'm on the elliptical machine at the studio for 2 hours a day on most days. And the funny thing is that indoor exercise equipment scares the crap out of me just because you're stuck in a room. But yet, that is more appealing to me right now than coming out here because I'm afraid to find out that my Achilles is not getting better and that the bone spurs are not remodeling under load. So I've noticed that I have this avoidance to doing the things that I love, being out here in the mountains. So today I want to make this video about that avoidance, otherwise known as procrastination, and talk about where it comes from and how I got myself out here today. Procrastination is really about self-measurement. It's a comparison between how you feel in this particular moment, how much energy you have, whatever self-narrative you have. Do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel bad? Do you feel like you're moving forward in life? Do you feel like a failure? Is there something that you need to complete or finish or achieve in order to move up in rank or to somehow feel that you're succeeding in life instead of going backwards? And then there's the thing itself that you're trying to do. For me, staying in great shape, maybe breaking my own American record in the mile. That's a big goal for me. Writing the book that I'm currently working on, getting it out. It's been a long time, 4 years in the making on this one. And I have this strong desire to avoid the activities that are going to move me forward because of this self-comparison. I'm not enough. I don't have enough energy. And the thing that I'm trying to do is monumental. It's too big. And when I compare the two, the task versus me doesn't measure up. Fear rises and you avoid it and you go do something else. And you come up with a reason why today's not your day. Or this moment is not the moment. Let me do this other thing first. Let me get my priorities in order. And I'll get to that, but right now this is more important. And by the way, priority means the first thing. Prior is the root of that word, which means the thing you have to do before the next thing. So if you're procrastinating, that is your priority. It's the thing you're doing before you get to the big thing. Anyway, so how I get myself out to do this and how I get myself to work on the book is by really carefully taking a look at how I'm framing the activity and how I'm experiencing myself. So I've got a module in a lot of my talks and writings that I call little dewdrops. It's about taking small risks, little drops off a little ledge and falling 2 inches rather than falling a mile. Like, oh my God, I've got to get to the bottom down there on Route 9 and I'm just going to take one giant leap. Or I can fall a little bit on every step, negotiate each stair and make it safely to the bottom of the mountain. And I often use the Grand Canyon as an example, that you can take the Bright Angel Trail and make it all the way to the bottom safely, or you can take a single step off the edge and you'll get down much faster, but you won't survive. It won't be pleasant. So what I do is I take that Grand Canyon, I take these 1,000 steps, and I explode it, I disintegrate it so that none of the steps are integrated into the bigger picture, that each step is individual. Right now I'm navigating this rock, now this one, now this one. And each time I move from rock to rock or stair to stair, I have to take a risk. I have to let go of the security of the rock I'm on, and I have to lean into space, hoping that my foot is going to come down on another rock at an angle that doesn't cause me to fall. And here I am looking at a camera a lot of the time, navigating rocks that I'm only seeing in my peripheral vision. But I trust that my feet know how to navigate short falls. They're really good at it. And so does my mind, if I allow that part of my mind to engage with the process that I'm in. We run into trouble when we say, I've got to do the 1,000 steps. I've got to jump off the Grand Canyon. Why? Why do you have to do the whole thing all at once? Why do you have to be present to the entirety of what you're doing before you can take a step? I have to write my book today. Holy cow, that's gigantic. But what if I have to walk over to the table that I write at? What about that? What if that's the goal? What if I take a 2-inch fall towards the table where writing happens? What if I take a 2-inch fall towards opening up a notebook? What if I take a 2-inch fall towards picking up a pen? What if I take a 2-inch fall towards looking at the last note that I wrote and reading it aloud and processing it and putting pen to paper and letting a word just come out without really trying to control it or manage it? Like, I'm not trying to control where my feet are going right now because I'm talking to a camera. So my feet are taking care of the stairs by themselves. They're really good at it. And your fingers and hands are really good at picking up a pen and putting it on the paper, and suddenly you're writing something. So much of what we do as human beings is done unconsciously. And yet we believe that we have to consciously control everything that we do. We need to use willpower to force ourselves to confront the entirety of the project. And the reason willpower is required is because we framed ourselves as somehow inadequate. And we're going to muster up all this courage and all this strength and energy, and we're going to put it into this massive ball of productivity, and we're just going to force ourselves through it like David Goggins. And my experience is that that doesn't work. And it's not just my experience, by the way. Lots and lots of researchers and Nobel laureates have written about this, that willpower is not your friend. And that if you can break things up into small tasks and at the same time break yourself up into, what am I capable of in this moment? Am I capable of walking towards that table? Am I capable of picking up my notebook? Am I capable of picking up this pen? Rather than, I've got to write my book. And there's this fear because, holy cow, I'm not big enough for the book. I'm not big enough for the 1,000 steps. I'm barely running or hiking these days. Why on earth would I try to go up the most difficult workout in this area? Because I don't. I simply look at the stone in front of me and I navigate it, and I feel the effort in that moment, in that step. How do I measure there? How am I feeling in relation to the step that I'm taking? Well, since I'm on the way down the mountain, I had more energy than each step required. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it to the top. But before I started the trail, suddenly there were all those thoughts like, I can't do this, or I can't do it as fast as I used to, and people are going to see it on Strava and it's going to be embarrassing. Oh my God, it was like 11 minutes to get to the top. I've done it in 8 minutes and 17. Who cares? The goal is not to win. The goal is not to always be better. The goal is to engage. That's how growth happens, by consistent engagement. People that try to win every workout or knock it out of the park every time they sit down to write, I've got to write something brilliant today. You never take a step because it's too much and you're too small. But what if You only ever have to take a step on any particular rock, and the person taking the step is only measuring their ability to handle that step. And the risk you have to take is not, if nobody likes this book, I'm going to be a failure, I'm going to be the laughingstock, versus, what happens when I write that word? What happens? How do I feel? What does that bring up in me? Does it inspire anything? So I hope there's something of value in there for you. If you like this video, please subscribe, leave your comments below if you have questions, or if you tried something like this, and tell me about your procrastination challenges, and maybe I'll answer them in an upcoming video. And if you want to help me stay in this YouTube game, come on over to Patreon. Just $1 or $2 a month. That's it. And it adds up, and it helps me continue to make content and update my equipment, which is failing on me. That's always fun. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Bye.